entire career. It just would have made it would have been a little bit more legendary to the dynasty overall to be there. But like I said, all good things come to an end, and obviously Clay did this for a more of a career longevity factor because like Texas with the taxes and stuff, and he probably honestly maybe Loki. I don't know. Some people I've from over the years have said that like Clay Thompson. No,
Yo, it does that every time,
man.
bro. It's really
But
insane.
like I said, all good things come to an end, and obviously Clay did this for a more of a career longevity factor because like Texas and stuff like that. He's gonna be able to save a lot more money over the years with the taxes and stuff, and he probably honestly maybe Loki. I don't know. Some people I've from over the years have said that like Clay Thompson. If you actually like look behind the scenes sometimes, Clay actually likes to fuck with the Bay a lot. He usually is like bike riding and stuff, or I believe he'd be fishing and stuff around. I don't know, maybe do you guys think, because I want to believe that, isn't he like actually like from the Bay like overall, before he even would like join the Warriors? So maybe he just may want a new like whole change of scenery and everything. Because Texas is also known for like having like a family type of. It's still, you feel me? You can get some good bread out there in Texas. Don't get it fucked up now. They got like that's the land of the hustlers and stuff like that, and just also entertainment and great food over there, of course. But also, it's a good family-oriented state too. So maybe Clay's getting into that father era. Does Clay have any kids? I've never seen him with. No. I'm tripping. I would be lying about that. He did have a celebrity chick. I think. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it a rapper singer chick? I don't know. But
Yeah, trying to fuck. Yeah, bitch, rapping bitch about bitch, sucking bitch, hit her with the motherfucking chopper, put them till they hit your motherfucking mama, that was it. Damn, hit the Dougie like. Damn, I just hit that one.
What is happening here? Oh my god.
Phrasing, Eric.
Welcome in to the PHNX Suns podcast. If you get any crazy shenanigans from our producer Eric behind the Mac today, just know, it just started off on the right foot today. Welcome in, everybody, to the PHNX Suns podcast.
They can't be that
Happy
good,
to see
right?
all of you early birds here in the chat with us already. Buddha, Ashley,
Of course,
Amelia,
DeAndre Hunter guarding,
Joel,
bro.
Hector. Welcome
Try hard.
in to the show, gentlemen.
Hector 1K. Why not 2K? Like, I mean, come on. Why not 3K? Yeah, invest in yourself.
Right, you gotta
Make that
trade.
4K.
you gotta leave room for growth.
Oh, that's fair.
Exactly. Well, we got a mini update today, one that was expected based off of everything that Gerald has been telling us over the last couple of weeks, but it is reportedly official anyway. Damian Lee returns to the Phoenix Suns on a veteran minimum deal. It is a 1-year deal, I believe, is what we're hearing.
Yeah, 1-year deal. I did get confirmation it is a vet minimum, so it's about $2.8 million since he has 7 years of NBA experience, which is roughly the exact same as he could have had if he had opted in there. So that's kind of interesting that it's wound up being for the same exact amount.
But why the tax issue?
So he is coming back at a lower cap hit.
Yes.
So it's $2.1 million. So that does do the Suns a favor in that respect.
It's that little nugget Bobby Marks told us.
Yeah.
Basically, have your guys opt out, come back, save a little bit of money on the backside of things for that.
That's the
Zero.
Matt Tellem effect, right? He's like, here's the little thing we could do to stick it to the second eighth round.
Well, I mean, listen, if you can
700
save
grand,
a dollar, you can save a
$700
dollar.
grand,
Why
yes.
not? You know what I mean? And in case you guys forgot, a quick little reminder about what Damian Lee brings to the table. We'll look at his stats from the 2022-23 season. So he played 74 games that season. He averaged 20.4 minutes per game. He knocked down 8.2 points, got 3 rebounds, dished out 1.3 assists, and shot 44.2% from the field and 44.5% from deep on 3.3 attempts per game. Not too shabby.
No, I mean he was third in the league in 3-point percentage that year. Shot 47% on catch and shoot threes. I think 51% from the corners and 52% in fourth quarters. So like this is a guy that you could rely on in big crunch time scenarios. He had that game winner against the Mavs in his very first game with the Suns that we all remember. I think if he can come back healthy, he's going to provide more of a jolt than maybe people are realizing, especially if you look at the bench and how many non-shooters that group has, having a guy like Damian Lee coming back is going to be big.
Yeah, I love this for Damian. I love this for the Suns. I've always been a big fan of Damian. I mean, listen, you're shooting 44% on 3 attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not something to just write off. Like, this guy's a shooter. He'll let it go. He's not afraid to let it go. Great locker room guy. Great vibe guy. I'm happy he's healthy. I mean, he's fine. I'm praying that he stays healthy and he gets on the court, because there were people that were worried about the air comes back. You might have your replacement in-house, and has the ability to probably shoot it equal to or better than. So I love this for D-League.
Better than at this point. I mean, I saw an interesting stat today to put into perspective Damian Lee and his ability to shoot. The top 10 3-point percentage seasons in Suns history, D-Lee's second. Grayson Allen, D-Lee, then also appearing on the list, Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant. So you've got 4 of the top 10 3-point shooter seasons, guys that accomplish that all on the same roster. And your hope is, okay, these guys are going to get more attempts this year under Mike Budenholzer. So you have a guy like Damian Lee that then you can turn to. Monte Morris, who I didn't get a chance to talk about yesterday, but he's also a good 3-point shooter. All of a sudden, I can see where this roster might actually start connecting on more of these and get a little bit more into today's NBA rather than where they were last year.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be really good, like you said, for that second unit that doesn't have a ton of shooters, and then losing what EG brought as far as at least attempts per game from the 3-point line. And I think it'll also help his teammates from that unit as well to kind of take a little bit of pressure off of them from having to make up some of those attempts per game. So, I don't know. I'm excited to have D-Lee back. I know Book likes him too, which is always a positive. You get some good locker room vibes from there because Damian Lee didn't get to be with the team as much last year. I think towards the end of the season, he was traveling a little bit more, but for the most part, he was at home rehabbing.
Right.
You know? So, have you heard anything as far as his injury goes?
We never got to see him because obviously throwing him back in the playoff situation, he just wasn't ready for that yet. But I would imagine with a full off season, as long as there have been no setbacks, which we haven't heard anything about, he should be ready to go by the start of next season. But he was saying like it was a nasty meniscus tear in terms of like basically being ripped off the bone. So
yeah.
Ow.
It was worse than I think they thought it was initially, right? Or at least what was being shared.
Well, his game isn't really like.
Worse than that.
Dagoon wants to know is Budenholzer an offensive coach? Yes, and that's why I said what I said about the 3-point shooting. You have a consistent offense, you're going to get these guys looks, and that's why I think it was important to bring Damian Lee back because I think he's about as good as shooters you're going to get on a $2.8 million contract. So you want that in the fold, even as a bench guy or potentially that second wave of the second rotation, you want that.
Plus, D-Lee is a really good guy. So
Shoot that.
hopefully he has a nice bounce back season.
Yeah.
Find a little bit more longevity.
I mean, he never played with the big three. So
Yeah.
No.
it'd be nice to see it.
And he was already really high up there in terms of shot quality and how open he was on his threes when he was there for the first season. Now they have Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal spacing the floor out there for him. There's a little bit of a crunch there with the 2-guard situation, but he does provide some of that shooting.
Who wins the contest? Grayson Allen or Damian Lee? 3-point percentage this year.
I don't know, but
Oh,
I can't
we
wait
do.
to find out.
We do.
We do.
As Suns fans,
How
we
the
do.
fuck
Can
you
we get
fucking-
Damien a really good nickname? Because the Count of Monte Assisto is one of the greatest nicknames I've ever heard.
Isn't
And
it?
I need to get D.
I
Lee.
just saw it and I'm
an
floored.
My hope is the whole bench has some of the greatest nicknames in Suns history. That's what I want this year. At least I'll be entertained on that front.
I mean,
We'll have to brainstorm because D. Lee is just like the low-hanging fruit that's always there.
Right.
It's like Espo. It's
well,
just
I
lazy.
mean, what's the difference between that and Book?
Well, Book's lazy too.
Well,
yeah, a lot of
nickname's
them.
lazy.
KD and lazy.
KD.
Yeah.
I
It's
think he's
clean,
got the,
He's got the Slim Reaper.
yeah,
he's
Slim
got
Reaper,
Tarantula.
I
Tarantula.
think we could
He's
do
got
something
other-
with. I think we do something with DL. You know?
No.
On the
He
DL.
he wasn't last year. You don't want him to be back there. He spent the whole year on the proverbial DL.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Michael in the chat said the roster has a much better feel as we enter the summer.
Yeah, a lot more quality.
Huge. So let's kind of recap where we are at currently. There are 13 players reportedly under or going to be under contract with the Suns right now. So we've got Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen, Kevin Durant, Yusuf Nurkic, Royce O'Neal, Bol, Mason Plumlee, Monte Morris, Damian Lee, David Roddy, Nasir Little, and Ryan Dunn, which means we have 2 open roster spots. I'm kind of leaning to the idea, based on the reports that we've heard, Gerald, that Josh Okogie will be back. Then the next question is, does Oso Ighodaro get a full contract instead of the third two-way slot that is still open? Where are you guys feeling?
Well, yeah, so I do have an update on that. According to a source, they are still trying to bring back Josh Okogie. They're probably going to have to bring him back for more than the vet minimum using his bird rights because there is competition for him. There are other teams that want him. So offering him the vet minimum isn't going to work in this situation, but they do want him back. So that would be a 14th spot, and then the 15th would be Oso, assuming he signs his rookie contract as well. But we're not ruling out the possibility of cutting or trading one of David Roddy or Nasir Little. This would come with a significant luxury tax bill because if you're cutting a guy, you're still on the hook for their salary. So David Roddy is on a $2.8 million deal. That's not that bad. Nasir Little is still owed like nearly $22 million over the next 3 seasons. So I'd be very surprised if they wound up cutting him and eating that much salary. I think he would be a better guy to try and trade later in the season. But David Roddy could be on the chopping block if there's a free agent out there that they like. And Kyle Lowry's name came up again. So that's something to keep an eye on in terms of rounding out the roster. They did seem interested in Lowry. And if that's the case, they would need to free up a roster spot somehow.
So if you get Lowry, you got Monte Morris, which I love the sign, 29-year-old that can hit 3, protects the ball. That was what everybody was asking for, right? A point guard who could protect the ball in that second unit and distribute. Guess what? You got that. I don't want to hear anything else. And then when you look on top of that, if you bring in a Kyle Lowry, it's backup on backup on backup, right? It's like that house that's got 2 extra generators.
I might let
Jamal
Murray go crazy this series. That's
an additional person there for that situation if Bradley Beal gets hurt or Monte Morris gets hurt. I like going after Lowry and still trying to make that happen. And if it comes at the cost of having to cut a David Roddy and pay him and eat that tax money, I think it's well worth it because there's more experience on the court as well. So I like that idea there, and they better sign Oso to an actual roster spot after trading up to get him there. I really want to see him as part of this roster, not a two-way slot.
Yeah, I'd assume they will, but just to cover our bases, because he hasn't officially signed. Had people asking, Ryan Dunn did this morning. That's going to be $2.5 million next season and a total of $13 million over 4 years, because that's the rookie scale for where he was selected in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be really quick here. I do expect Josh to be back. Mm-hmm. I love Josh. I think Josh is going to fit in really well with Bud. I do think that Oso will get a guaranteed deal and be a part of this roster. I mean, I checked in on draft night, and I heard the same thing other people heard. This guy was considered a first-round pick. Like, they really targeted him at 28. So I think he'll be back. I love the Monte Morris move. I think Kyle Lowry's a guy that, like G just said, you got to keep your eye on. I think there's a lot of smoke behind that. I think there's reason to believe Kyle Lowry still could be part of this basketball team. And to Espo's point, you love Monte Morris, but he's insurance behind Monte Morris, right? And so it makes a ton of sense to get a guy like that at that part of his career, 38 years old, looking for a potential chance to take another crack at a championship and being able to come here and kind of fight it out with Monte for whatever role that is, and then whoever doesn't necessarily win that battle is now the built-in insurance policy.
Yeah. Okay, a couple things from the chat. So, Wow Factor said trade Roddy for second-round picks, don't just cut. I'm sure that's the number one goal, of course, for the Suns, if they were planning to take this route to bring in an additional player. But if nobody's interested, and then you just got to weigh the pros and cons of, do we stick it out with this player, or do we really value this guy, and are we willing to eat that money, which from everything we've seen from Matt Ishbia, he's willing to eat the money.
That's a nice dinner at Summer League for Matt Ishbia.
And then we also got a question from Joel, said, why don't they just trade Little now? It's not like his trade value is going to skyrocket. I'm sure that they have at least done their due diligence as far as accepting calls if they've been coming in. Maybe they've been sending some feelers out there to see what his trade value is. But if they were actively trying to get rid of Nasir Little and they don't throughout the summer, I would assume they think that he's more valuable for them than whatever was being offered.
Yeah.
And that maybe they can get something a little bit better come the trade deadline.
Yeah, and we have to acknowledge, like, this free agency has been pretty slow. There are still some teams that have lots of rosters. Sounds good in theory, but you kind of have to wait for some of the other guys to go first before they'll be willing to take a vet minimum. So the fact that they've already gotten, you know, Amani Morris and Mason Plumlee on vet minimums is a good sign in my book, because those guys could have waited to see what happens with the free agency market before accepting, you know, the least value.
Yeah, you can't tell me Mason Plumlee couldn't have gotten more than the minimum when he saw Drew Eubanks get 2 for 10.
Right.
Oh, he definitely could have.
Monte Morris sitting at 29. I know he was injured last year. That's another guy that I'm sure somebody would have taken a more expensive flyer on. This is why I don't like the argument that nobody wants to come here and play for the Suns. That that shine is off this team. These two guys made decisions to do this, and I think they're two of the better names you could have hoped for in those slots that you were looking at, and they did it long before the rest of the market was set.
Right.
I want to share something. This was a message I got from an agent right after the Plumlee deal. I was shocked, and I reached out to a particular person. I'm like, man, how did we get Mason for that amount that quick? And his response was, Phoenix, book KD Bill. Right. Period. That's it. So I mean, people do want to come here to play with those three guys and be out here in this beautiful state and environment. So that's going to happen. And the last thing I'll say about that is to G's point is waiting is smart. I think I just saw somebody in the chat, Paul Reed just got cut. I'm not saying Paul Reed to the Suns. I'm just saying I like Paul Reed. Always have out of DePaul. There's going to be guys that are going to be, and that same agent, I'm sorry, I don't want to get over, but that same agent that sent me that also followed up by saying, guys will be fighting for spots real soon. Like, it's going to happen. The market's going to play out. You're going to find some guys in uncomfortable spots. And so securing that spot early for Monty and I think Mason was important. But now there may be a couple guys that you don't expect that might come down the road, and that's where you utilize a Nasir Little or a Roddy contract to kind of free up space.
All right, so we have a super chat from Grant. Thank you, Grant. Appreciate you being
Their bench
here
is kind of tough. I see why they were so good.
Said, any chances we bring back Jay? On Twitter, it's trending because he liked a tweet of him coming back here. Any legs there? And any other free agents we might potentially sign other than J.O. As Gerald mentioned, the Kyle Lowry just a minute ago, but how you guys feeling about a Jay Crowder comeback?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything about this. Maybe I'll look into that, but I think the interest might be more on Jay's side. I do think the Suns could use, I like Kyle Lowry, but I do think the Suns could use more of a shooting wing at this point if they're going to
Jay
replace
Crowder,
Rodney on the roster with somebody. But, you know, maybe you wait for a Nasir Little trade to try and make that happen. But, I mean, Jay, I love Jay. Like, Jay is a tremendous locker room guy, tremendous human being. We know what he's capable of from his time here, but it does feel like at this point in his career, you might want to aim a little bit younger.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it. I'd have to follow up same way. But I will tell you this. If you can turn David Roddy and Nasir Little into Kyle Lowry and Jay Crowder, sign me up. I can use the toughness. Jay's going to bring that toughness, good locker room vibes. We know how we feel about Jay out here, so I wouldn't.
And Monty's gone, so it should be all right.
I think they'll be fine. My question is, who's bringing the toughness to the pickleball tournament we're hosting later this month at Chicken and Pickle?
This guy until his back goes out.
Flex is bringing the toughness?
Hey, me and Mac got uniforms.
They got matching uniforms.
We got matching uniforms.
Seriously?
Yes, girl. We ready to go.
Oh, my God.
Y'all better bring y'all games, because me and Mac are ready. And we played for like 3 hours the last time we were there.
You guys.
Ass, so
Gerald and I had uniforms, but now he's gone on a trip. So
oh, my
we can't
God.
go.
You gonna be going, G?
Yeah.
You guys, I need you all to sign up and come hang out with us Saturday, July 27th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for our pickleball tournament out at Chicken and Pickle. So just so I can see somebody take down Flex and Mac, because the uniforms Y'all got jerseys, like that took it to a whole
Double
new
trouble.
level. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to root for you or not. We'll see.
Do they
I'll
allow-
decide the day of.
Do they allow you to bring your walker out there on the court? Okay,
Oh,
buddy.
no.
I'll see you on the 27th.
I'm bringing the trash talk. At
You
least.
are. You are. We also have a ton of other events happening over the next couple of months. You can always stay up to date on any event we're doing at gophnx.com. Just click on the events tab. And while you're over there, also become a diehard. Being a diehard is absolutely phenomenal. You get a free t-shirt of your choice from our locker upon signing up. You get access to all of our premium written content. Gerald puts a lot of effort and energy into those, and they're always fantastic. You get access to our Discord, plus discounts on all events and merch as well. So check that out again. That is gophnx.com. Espo, would you say that you're an ordinary person or an extraordinary person?
I am extraordinary.
Extraordinary? Well, our friends over at Bet365 are never ordinary. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary with our friends at Bet365. They have 90 million users worldwide. They live stream 780,000 events each year. And of course, my favorite, they have early payout offers for the NBA, NFL, NHL, and MLB. Yes, you might be like, what's an early payout offer? Well, with our friends at Bet365, you get your straight bets paid out or your parlay selections marked as a winner when your team goes up by 20 points in the NBA. When it comes to MLB, if your team goes up 5 runs, you get the same thing. So that's
see why
like
I never
one of
watch
the
this
coolest
live, bro.
things
I
that
can
I
just
think
skip
our
these
friends at
ads.
Bet365 offer. And
Oh
right now,
my
they're
God,
also offering new
Bogdanovich.
customers a choose your own
He
adventure
hit the Caitlyn
option
card?
when you sign up for a new account using the code PHNX365. All you have to do is deposit $10 and then choose between either a bet and get offer where you place a bet of $5 or more and you get $150
What are you
in
doing?
bonus bets, or a first bet safety net offer by placing a bet up to $1,000, and if your qualifying bet loses, you receive a
Oh
matched
my
refund
God, bro.
in bonus bets. So download the
Like, MPJ,
Bet365
shoot the
app
fucking ball.
and
Like,
use code PHNX365 when you sign up. Choose your offer and find out why it is never ordinary at Bet365. Disclaimer, you must be 21 or older and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov.
Gerald, you might not know this, but I'm a high-powered executive around here. And I have a lot that I have to do and have to get done. And hiring is one of those things. My friends at Indeed usually help me take care of that in a way that I can deal with you, Rick Rapp, on a daily basis. I mean, if you need to hire, you need Indeed.
That's good.
It's that simple, all right? Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors. That's a lot of people. That's more than a dating app, all right? This is corporate dating. We got 5 people to fill quick slots quick, all right? And you know what? According to Indeed data and the matching engine they help you find the candidates fast. I'm not waiting to fill these positions, damn it. And I can't as a high-powered executive. I don't have time to wait for this stuff. So you can ditch the busy work, use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect
wow.
faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster, Gerald. 93% of employers agree, like myself, Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to recent industry surveys. Did you know that?
I didn't know
I
the
didn't
recent
think so.
industry surveys.
Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent.
So, did you get me on Indeed, bro? Nah, he ain't got no love for me right now. But I'm talking to you, dog.
Hey, on the streets, you don't need Indeed to hire. Flex has got the pipeline of people that he just gets in.
That's how they got
right?
me.
So I must read this call to action they're telling me. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsorship job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
All right, guys.
Flex, you can use Indeed as well.
Yeah.
We have pretty much seemingly filled out our roster. There might be one additional move, maybe two additional moves made for the rest of the offseason, but let's go ahead and dive into rotations. Okay, we're going to operate at least first on the idea that it's Oso and Josh Okogie who are in the 13th or the 14th and 15th spot.
They took me out again, bro.
Okay, what do rotations look like in y'all's mind? How you feeling?
For 3 minutes?
Great question. I personally, I think I'm leaning towards starting Royce O'Neal over Grayson Allen at this point. I think Grayson brings a lot more gravity as a shooter, but I think you need some size in that starting lineup. I think you need some defense, and I think that's what Royce provides. I don't envision Monty Morris being that guy. And I feel like Grayson and Monty coming off the bench would provide you with two solid backcourt guards who can come in, shoot, do a little bit of everything. So that's kind of where I'm leaning right now. But man, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be entirely up to Bud because we've seen so many different arguments for all kinds of different things.
What am I doing?
Bradley Beal's not coming off the bench. Can we get that out of the way? I don't know why that continues to come up. It's not happening.
Hold on. I don't think at the beginning of the season, but if things start... Listen.
Hear him out.
Listen. If things go sideways
I can't stop
at any
right
point
there
in this
and
first
pass
35, 40 games, there's two options. You start throwing shit at the wall, which is taking Bradley Beal and putting him as your sixth man, or you start trading people. So I don't want to say that there's no chance, because now you actually have a legitimate option, and potentially two at point guard with Monte Morris, and if you sign Kyle Lowry. Last year it was laughable because you had no. What are you going to do? Early in the year, we're going to really start Jordan Goodwin. In the second half of the year, what the hell were you going to do? You play Book at point, put Grayson at 2, and play Royce O'Neal? No, there was no legitimate option. But I think if you are at some point in this season, things aren't going your way, and you're seeing Monte Morris be that connector that people have wanted, you might have to look at it.
All right, so yeah, I'm with G here.
I don't care.
No. I'm with G here. I don't think there's any situation at all this season, the entire season, that Kevin Durant, Brad Beal, and Devin Booker aren't starting.
Hold on. Let's not make it sound like I suggested that KD and Book should be coming off the bench.
I'm saying no, you didn't suggest that. I'm saying I don't think there's any point in time that all three of those guys aren't starters. And I know you're saying Brad, so let me just stick to Brad. What I will say is this. If you are correct, and at some point this thing goes off the rails and your way to fix it is Brad Beal off the bench, you're in a shit ton of trouble. I think things went really bad. If you're 35 games into the year and you guys are still having this conversation and things aren't right, yeah, maybe at the deadline we got some shit to talk about. So I think that's where I'm at. If this shit ain't working in 35 games, we got to figure something out.
Okay, but what if there's a different situation? We're playing hypothetical.
Yeah.
So let's play an hypothetical. What if Bradley Beal?
See, that's that shit I'm talking about, bro. Like, what is that, bro? Like, are you serious?
But it's not outside the realm of possibility. And Monte Morris comes in, and they light the world on fire with him as a point guard, and that offense looks amazing. Don't you have to consider it then, too? Like, I don't deal in absolutes with this kind of stuff. I think there are rules.
That is a fair point.
You make a fair point.
But here's the thing. Like, Monty Morris is not going to come in and be the reason that they light the world on fire. Like, I like the guy. He's a backup point guard. He is not a starting caliber point guard at this point. He has been a backup for most of his career. And I think if you're starting Monty Morris, like let's say in that hypothetical where Beal is hurt, you're undersized. Like that is an undersized starting lineup that you have, which it's already going to be undersized as it is. I don't see that scenario unfolding. I don't see you telling a $50 million a year player, hey, we're this vet minimum guy that we signed is really doing great, so we're going to bring you off the bench. Like unless it's an injury thing where you got to ease him back in, it's just not happening.
The count of Monte Assisto.
Stop.
Not making turnovers, dishing that ball, dropping 8 dimes because Katie and Book have found their rhythm. I'm not saying it's impossible.
You know what this reminds me of a little bit?
He's going to ruin that.
I'm saying it's impossible.
I'll tell you what this reminds me of a little bit. Don't get so damn literal, chat. Don't go and start saying, well, this guy's not this guy. Memphis at one point had a situation a couple years back where Ja Morant got hurt. and he missed about 20 games. And Tyus Jones came in. I think them dudes went 18-2. Right? Something. I'm somewhere in the ballpark, right? And when Ja came back, Ja was starting.
Yeah,
Now,
Bradley Beal ain't coming.
No. So
I'm just kidding.
I know that's where y'all gonna go with this, but I'm saying
He even warned you.
yeah.
You don't warn me. I will do what you say not to do. That's
But I again, if that would have happened, I think we congratulate Monty for doing a good job.
Yes.
But you insert Brad Beal right back into it because you don't want that white flag. You don't want to give anyone the impression that this Brad Beal thing isn't gonna work. And I think that's what you're doing. You're basically raising your hand and saying, nah, this $50 million Brad Beal experiment didn't work. So he's going to the bench. And the minute you do that, that opens up a can of worms that you don't want no part of. So yeah, I'm cool for this year. All three of those guys are starting. And I think that's where we're at. But you could be right.
You can still stagger them too.
You can stagger them, yeah.
I agree with you though. To get back to your original point,
Right.
I agree with you on moving Royce O'Neal into that starting lineup. I think it makes sense. It gives you defense. He is a guy that we've seen. He's streaky, but he can hit the three when given opportunities, and it makes it a more dynamic bench that's got it evens out your starting lineup and your bench unit with defense and offense, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Now we'll see what Mike Budenholzer decides to do, but to me, that makes a lot of sense. I still think the big question mark is Nurk your starting center, word one, but in this world where he's on this roster and that's where it is, obviously he's your starter in that spot as well.
Okay, so let's operate first since you two are in agreement. How do you feel about Royce starting over Grayson?
Yeah,
I'm okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
I think you try both.
I'm with both.
We didn't get both last year until we absolutely had to.
Right. So let's play this exercise. We'll start with Grayson starting, just because he was here longer. We'll go with that. Seniority rules, right?
Yeah.
With Grayson starting in this lineup, so we're rolling back with what we had last year. Who are your first off the bench options here?
I think Royce is checking in at the 3 or the 4 along with Ryan Dunn. I think Monty's checking in for one of the 2 guards. I think Grayson's checking in for the other. And then I think you're going Mason Plumlee for Nurk.
No, we got Grayson in the starting
Grayson in the
lineup.
starting.
Oh, that's
my
right.
God.
Okay, so we
Cool.
have
Royce off the bench. You said Royce and Ryan.
yeah, Royce, Ryan Dunn, Monty,
And Plum.
Plumlee, and then probably Dave.
Or
Yeah,
Damian Lee.
Bol or Damian Lee, depending on how much size or shooting.
Okay.
I think it could be matched up to them.
The first guy off the bench for me is going to be Mason Plumlee because man tends to get in foul trouble.
He does check in sooner.
So there you go.
Yeah.
That could be fair. Yeah, I'm with you. Assuming it's Grayson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Royce is my first guy off the bench, followed by Ryan Dunn. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Ryan Dunn off 7, and then Monty Morris or Kyle Lowry, whichever one. No, sorry, no Kyle Lowry.
He
not
does
here
come on the
yet.
team, but he's not here
Yeah,
yet.
we're talking about the guys that are here. So yeah, it'll be Monty, and then obviously Plumlee to back up Nurk, and I do think that Bobo or Damian Lee would be situational, but again, I'm getting a little bit weird because I know that there's a guy, like, I'm still in my mind thinking of Kobe. I know he's not part of this exercise though, so
Who?
a Kobe.
No, we're
You little small bitch.
Yeah.
You too small,
so
Trey.
in that situation, those guys, and then I think it's matchup dependent. I think if you need a on-ball defender, point of attack guy, you might go Kogi. If you want to get a little bigger, you go Bobo. If you want some shooting, you go Damian Lee. So I think you have a nice variety there of matchup dependent substitutions towards the end.
Is Bol going to get more of a chance though? Is Budenholzer going to include him in this rotation? Because he came back and he signed on that vet minimum, right?
Hell yeah,
When
he
there
is.
was an opportunity, we assume, to go elsewhere. You'd imagine he had to have been told he was part of the plans here, because you don't come back if you're going to be used in kind of the way you were last year, where you disappeared for 4 or 5 games at a time. Right?
Yeah, and it's a good question because I think Bol, we saw last year, he was optimized at the 4 spot, not the 5, which is what I was kind of expecting going in. But if he's back at the 4, that's going to depend on, okay, is Royce starting at the 3 or the 4? Right. Is he coming off the bench at the 3 or the 4? Is Ryan Dunn ready to play NBA rotation minutes as the 3 or the 4? I think it's going to depend on those questions.
Bro, if he's
for
hitting
Bol.
shots, bro,
But
Ryan
I do
Dunn,
think
bro. Oh
it's
my
hard to envision
God,
him coming
man.
back, taking less than he probably could have gotten elsewhere.
He might be the
if
best
there
player, the
wasn't
best the best
this message from the
role
Suns,
player
like,
in
we're
the
going to
league,
give
and
you
like next
a
year,
consistent crack at this,
he
and
can
if you
shoot
earn
it
it, like, you're going to
at
get
least
minutes.
like
I feel like Bobo
30,
could thrive
34%,
Yeah.
with this
33%.
group
Yeah, I
now,
hope so.
especially with the confidence he's got.
Yeah.
And then you've got in the second unit Monte Morris, or if there is a Kyle Lowry joining at some point in time.
Yeah.
Plus, you're taking
Kyle
a little
Lowry
bit
is
off
not
of
leaving
his
Philly, bro. Ain't
play
no way
two,
now.
depending on who he's out there as far as
That's
the big
his
three. Hopefully out there with at least one of
hometown.
them, if not two of them. And maybe you throw
Home-
Damian Lee or Grayson Allen. I don't know. I feel like
Sounds
Bobo
like
could
good.
have,
Sounds like good.
Hometown in the
I feel
moves
like
they
Bobo
just
could
made,
have
bro.
a
Like
nice
what?
little season again.
You good.
He
You've
not
watched
leaving
the
that.
tape
He's
on
signing
this.
for the vet
Yeah,
man.
see, that's where
Where does this kid fit in too?
See.
Because it looks like
Give it
I
to
get
him.
It's college, it's potential, it's hope, right? We've talked about it, but you look at it, and some of the things that kid does on the floor too. I feel like you're gonna want to see.
Your change of pace
Yeah.
option at center. He is a playmaking guy. He's the guy that if you need a change of pace because Yusuf Nurkic and Mason Plumlee are more ground bound, they're not going to do well guarding out on the perimeter. Oso's the guy that can switch on the perimeter and still provide you with a rim running lob threat. Doesn't provide you shooting, but does provide some of the playmaking that slightly different from those two, but can still replicate what they do. So if he impresses, or if Plumlee or Nurk is hurt, foul trouble, whatever, he's kind of your change of pace guy.
He's my wild card. He's the guy that I didn't include in my list, and I immediately said, "Oh shit, I'm kind of mad about."
It's Oso.
Because my man Oso is unique, and we're gonna have to see how the summer league plays out. We have to see how training camp plays out. But I do think he's the wild card in the mix. He's the guy that can make shit difficult for a lot of people because he can play the 4 or the 5. He's super athletic. Here's where I'm very intrigued with Oso. I'm intrigued with Oso actually being a point big for us and being able to take Book and Beal and KD off the ball and say, here you go, big fella. Play point like you did at Marquette. Let me see. Like, this guy literally played point guard against the #1 team in the country when Tyler Collect wasn't there and ran the entire offense. So this guy is very intriguing. And again, summer league and training camp will kind of sort those things out. But good problems to have. I like these problems.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
When did 6'10" become undersized?
Yeah.
As a big man.
It's not that he's undersized in height necessarily,
Body
but
size?
just in terms of he doesn't have like a major plus wingspan. It's only
Okay.
6'11".
That's the problem.
And he
But
was
body
not like
size too was something we talked about.
Okay.
and he was not like a plus shot blocker either. He's a good positional defender. I think he's
Good
better on the
positional
perimeter
defender.
maybe than he is around
Yeah,
the pass.
I kept hearing that and I kept thinking I would kill to be 6'10". At any point. So.
Well,
He will put on weight
he's
pretty
an-
He will.
quickly.
I mean,
now
he's
that
236.
on- Yeah.
He's
I can
6'10",
help him with
236.
that.
And again, I know we talked about this before, but if you want evidence of his ability to play against bigger guys, watch the UConn game.
Man,
went
he
up
was
against
bodying
7'3"
Klingon, bro.
And
He was
I
bodying
mean,
him.
it didn't look like he was undersized at all. He went, backed him down, put pressure on the rim. So he's very intriguing. Very intriguing.
I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but I'm also excited about this kid.
Oh boy, aren't we all? Okay, if we swap them, right? So Grayson is now
I did a step back,
coming
but they
off the
made me do a
bench.
layup. I don't know.
Grayson
You know what I'm
is
saying?
starting. Does it adjust who maybe you might turn to, or do you just swap Grayson and Royce basically?
I think if Grayson's coming off the bench, I think Damian Lee's path to minutes closes up quicker. I think you're looking at Monty, Grayson off the bench. You're looking at Ryan Dunn on the wing, Bol, and then probably Mason and or Oso. That's probably what
Yeah.
you're going with. And I think for Okogie, it would have to be really matchup dependent. We need someone to guard the point of attack.
See, I like this
Yeah.
more. That's why I like Royce in
Oop.
that starting lineup. I feel like this is a better
Trae Young sucks,
rounded
bro.
bench unit.
All right, man. Jamal Murray eat,
Everything
bro. Just eat.
with it. Then you have Damian Lee and Josh Okogie as backstops in situations where you can turn to them in different areas. And I like that Bol will get consistent minutes in this kind of lineup more so, at least I think. So that's why I lean to it. And Grayson Allen, take the odds now because I'll have to look at what the odds are. But take him as sixth man of the year because if he's off the bench, he's gonna be in that conversation. I bet the odds are pretty good. Though.
Not Bradley Beal.
Well, that's later in the year. He won't play enough games there.
Okay.
I'll be quick, Lindsay. I think I don't think it changes. Swapping out Grayson and Royce, I don't think changes much all the way down to 8-9. I think that's pretty interchangeable. I think it affects the bottom end of the roster. To Gerald's point, it'll probably make Damian a lot harder to get on the court. But it doesn't affect your 1 through 9 much. I think they're just.
I'm not missing no more, bro.
Okay. We do have a super chat from MMA Boss Breakdown.
Not missing no more. I know what I'm doing, bro.
Do we get full bowl bird rights after this season? Anybody know that off the top of their head?
I don't. I gotta confirm. I think I heard that was part of the reason for him coming back is that now you get his bird rights because he's on a second.
I feel like with 2 years you might get his early bird rights at the very least, but I would need to look into that.
Which then for next year we'd be able to offer him if we're in the same situation a little bit more, just like with a Josh Okogie.
Plus you get the worm when you're the early bird. So.
That's right.
I'm just going to do this now that you've insulted me, Jared.
How did I insult you? I just asked a question.
You know what else you get when you're the early bird?
What's that?
First dibs on all the goodies at Circle K.
Hell
that's nice.
First dibs. We love to hear it. Circle K, our friends over at Circle K are my favorite sponsor of ours because I'm obsessed with everything that Circle K has to offer. The Frosters, the Polar Pops, the chocolate-covered almonds, the snacks, the goodies, you name it. Our friends at Circle K have you covered for all your summer road trips. And right now, they want to also help you save a little bit of money when you join their free membership program, the Inner Circle Rewards. First and foremost, you save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You save 3 cents per gallon every single day. Also, right now through September 3rd, you can get any Polar Pop or Froster for just 79 cents. But if you are an Inner Circle Rewards member, you get it for just 69 cents.
Nice.
That's right. So make sure you sign up for Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. Guess what? Earlier in the chat, Ashley was like, I really hope Espo's back, so Lindsay doesn't have to read any Manscaped reads. Espo's back!
Oh, brother! Do you want your grooming routine to be a one-and-done deal?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That is a fucking 40-year-old man, bro. Damn. I mean, I know Thaddeus Jones is a good post defender, but god damn, man, you really? Oh, that's...
We just talked about how it seems like there's a lot of experimenting and you got to try a few different things with Coach Bud at the helm. You got a lot of guys you could tap into and some younger guys who might be able to surprise you. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out. But Flex, you have an interesting thought when it comes to our friend Ryan Dunn. Huh?
I do.
What's your
Dude,
thought?
yeah. Look at G. G's laughing.
I think
G
I already
knows.
know what it is.
G knows I love me some Ryan Dunn. Listen, I think this is going to all depend on one, the summer league. Okay, we gotta see how things shake out in summer league, and obviously through training camp. But if everything I'm hearing behind the scenes about Ryan Dunn is correct, I believe there's an opportunity where you go right to Ryan Dunn early. You say, hey man, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna book, we're gonna build, we're gonna KD, we're gonna Nurk, and Ryan Dunn. We're sticking you on everybody. You're sticking all the best players on all the best teams. We don't care what position. You're that guy. We don't care about your offense. We don't care about your shooting. We want you to be this guy. And guess what? Now Grayson Allen is potentially the best six man in basketball. Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen back-to-back off the bench is dangerous. You add in a Monty Morris, and now you might be cooking. Now, that's wishful thinking. This is assuming, G, that Ryan Dunn is as good as advertised and is somewhere in the level of a Mikal Bridges type dude right away. And if he is that, then I'm going with him in the starting lineup. But again, we got to see how things shake out.
Okay. I'm going to play the internet here.
Okay.
All right. Brother can't shoot.
Okay.
How are you going to play it?
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
According to what
Allegedly.
he said.
Hold on.
Yeah, listen, he had some really exciting, he was excited to prove everyone wrong yesterday. James Jones said some nice things about him yesterday.
What are they supposed to say? Allegedly. I got statistics, as Gerald likes to say, and they ain't good from deep. So why am I supposed to believe that won't be a hindrance to him starting?
So that's a great question. Okay, and I do think it's because similar to Josh Okogie last year, the case that we made for him was his lack of shooting is mitigated if you are playing him with three central gravity hubs of the big three, like superstars that are going to demand attention. You might be able to get away if he can't shoot. If the shooting is as bad as we fear it might be, putting him with the big three might alleviate some of those concerns where you're sticking him in a dunker spot roll or a roller roll or screen or whatever and trying to alleviate that concern that way. But I do hear you. I personally think the shooting and the offense is still going to need to come along for that to happen.
Yeah.
But that would be the argument is that like if you put him next to those three, the shooting concerns aren't as great because they have to focus on stopping those three.
Well, as part of the argument too, Flex, that if he's out there being the point of attack defender, taking on the toughest defensive assignment, you're not making Kevin Durant do that, so he might be even more effective, which is tough. He was effective last year, but even more effective offensively where it doesn't put that much pressure on them.
Yeah, no, I think you look at the whole thing. You look at less pressure on both Beal and Dunn. And Katie, because he could perceivably be guarding any one of those guys, man, on any given night. The NBA is unique. You know, it could be Kyrie one night, Luka the next night, Anthony Edwards. So Dunn is that Swiss Army knife that you can go in and say, you take that guy, and now that guy on offense is a little free because he doesn't have to work so hard on defense. I'm with you, G. The shooting has to come around, right? I do get that.
Please don't.
I push back a little bit on the Okogie thing. People keep saying he's Josh Okogie, right? If Josh Okogie was 6'7", like Ryan Dunn, Josh Okogie will not be signing a little bit more than the minimum deal right now. I'm very confident in saying that. Josh is a good basketball player, but he's 6'2". That's like saying if Devin Booker was not 6'6" and he was 6'2", he wouldn't be Devin Booker. I'll tell you that right now. Devin would not be Devin if he was 4 inches shorter, right? So he'd be probably Tyrese Maxey, but that's a whole nother point, right? But I do think that Summer League, here's what I want to see, G. This could be completely off, and this could be nowhere near able to happen based on a jump shot thing. But is it crazy for me to go to Summer League and say, hey, Ryan, man, put him up? I want 5 threes a game in Summer League. I don't give a damn if you don't make them. I don't care if we lose by 30. It's Summer League. Go out there, put 5 up a game. Force the issue.
Hold on, that shit ain't crazy. We watched Dragan Bender play point guard in Summer League when they were scrambling to figure out if he could be anything.
So I do want to see it in the context of the role that he would have. I don't want him like trying to do shit off the dribble or like forcing threes. I do want to see, like, if somebody kicks it to you and you have space in a catch and shoot situation, I want to see what you can do. I want to see you in the corner and you get an open look. I want to see you knock that down. I think I do. I want to see him shoot. I want to see how he shoots at Summer League, but I do want it to be in similar scenarios that he might see with the Suns, which is hard to replicate because they don't have guys on this Summer League roster that are going to create that same gravity for him. But that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Also, you're talking about later on in the season, not to start the season, correct?
Oh no, I'm talking.
No, he's talking
I'm talking about from.
Okay.
I'm talking about. Here's what I'm
I was
saying.
going to say, it makes sense a little bit later on in the season. You have some time to build up that confidence. You have some time to show, not just because Summer League is very valuable, but again, it's Summer League. You're not playing against veteran NBA players who have far more talent and skill than all of the rookie class. You know what I mean? But I could see by maybe December if he's really been able to prove that.
I should have went,
Why
bro.
not?
Pie in the sky. He goes to Summer League. He's first team All Summer League. He's a defensive monster, and he shows that he can shoot 30% from three. Okay, then that translates to training camp, and now you're in training camp, and guys like Devin Booker, Brad Beal, and Kevin Durant are walking to Bud's office and saying, "Hey man, this guy's pretty damn good. This guy is giving us all we can handle in practice. There's no reason to think or overthink this. This kid can go out there day one and make hell for Anthony Edwards and some of these guys." That's everything working out. We hit on everything. Do I think that's likely? Probably not. But I'm not ruling it out, so that's why I'm saying let's have fun in Summer League and see how this kid develops. Maybe we get surprised.
Okay, so what's the minimum three-point percentage he needs to be at for the most part consistently in order to win that fifth starting spot?
30% for me. You shoot 30. You can make if you can make 30% to start day one.
Right. Okay.
I want him to be better than that, but I'm saying forget 30. 1 out of 3. If you're shooting 33%, I can live with that enough that if your defense is that good, I'll live with 32%.
I'd go like 35, 36 probably for me. That's league average, just below league average. That would probably be what I know.
Okay.
It's not the 3-point percentage for me.
What
It's
is
the
it?
free throw percentage.
That's fair.
Because he shot so poorly from the stripe that that's going to be an easy out for some teams too if he's got an easy look
What a
at the
ball,
hoop,
bro.
right? Like just put him on the line. That's a deficit, and that's where I need to see him start making first. Because once he does that, I think then the three-point shooting comes along. It's the free throw shooting that I'll be watching at Summer League and in the preseason, and understanding that, because I can deal with that from a guy on my bench. I can't deal with it from a guy in my starting lineup because that can disrupt a lot of things in a lot of ways. So that's where I'm looking with him. I think there is a world where he could start at the beginning of the year, but you have to show promise in that.
Why are we
Are there
doubling,
any other
bro?
wild cards that we could see throughout this season? For example, Plumlee getting the nod ahead of Nurk at times. Anybody else that you see could be a wild card where you're like,
For the starting spot?
just in general,
What the
yeah,
fuck?
but it's for the starting spot. Yeah, could you see that potentially happening or anything else?
Guess what? I've been out on the limb most of the day, so I'm going to go back out there. Oso Ighodaro will start at least one game at Sonic Phoenix Suns.
Shoot that.
I guess due to injury or due to
I guess.
earning
I
the
think
starting
it-
spot?
I think it will be maybe a combination. I think he will earn the minutes, and it probably will come because of injury. But he might earn more starts once he gets in there.
I'm
On some
with
Trace
Esponjas.
Davis Jackson type
I
shit.
do think we'll see Oso start a game this year, but I'll give you the context. I think it'll be a game where maybe Nurk is out, and the matchup with Oso is better than Plumlee. And so you put Oso in there as a facilitator,
Oh my
ball handler,
God,
small
I
ball
can't,
5,
bro.
and then you keep Plumlee off the bench. I could see that happening.
Bro, I was shooting
I
good
thought
before the
that-
playoffs
I
started,
thought
bro.
Jared was going to scoff at me and throw some stat at me where I was wrong.
No, I mean, I don't think Oso's going to start
Thank you.
just
He's
by
being
earning
nice to
it.
you.
But
Take your
I
W.
think there could be situations where situationally, like he is the right call as the backup guy just because of matchup stuff. A team is going small. You need someone who can guard on the perimeter. That's where I would look for Oso because Plumlee and Nurk are not that dude.
Yeah.
Oso was 100% my guy. Oso Inlet, we got land for you. You can come out and purchase. Get in early because it's cheap right now. You're gonna be able to build a nice little haven for you there, and then we'll see how it blossoms throughout the year.
Ighodaro Isle.
I am all.
Oso is fun though.
I'm all
Oso
in
is
on
such a
Oso.
great
But
name.
he said Oso Inlet, right? Yeah, also
I'm
Oasis.
not overselling this, all right? It can grow into. This is one part of a master plan community that will have multiple names. We have to start small. I don't want to put the pressure on my fellow Chandler Marquette guy.
You just said he was going to be starting games.
Yeah, at some point this season. I didn't say. I did not say to start the season. Okay. I am not flexed on whatever Dunn property he's already squatting on.
Optimus Flex.
Yeah. The chat is very high on Bridges, which I'm right there with you. I think if you wanted to throw another wild card out there, you could maybe make the claim that Jalen Bridges earns a roster spot before the end of the season. I think that'd be kind of a fun one to see. It'd be tough.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that. If, like I said, it's a wild card.
I will say this. I think the Suns have some good problems. I'm not going to overreact. We're not going to do what we did last year and run victory laps for what they've done in a couple of days of free agency. But I do like that they've run it back and kind of stood on track at the same time, fixed the edges. This summer league's going to be fun because Gillespie could hoop too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That dude could hoop. So you gonna have Bridges, Gillespie, you gonna have Oso, you have Dunn. I mean, these guys go out there and win a summer league championship, and man, listen, man, shit.
We need to decide.
I'm not coming back on the 16th if they 2-0.
We need to decide. Flying back out there.
I'm not coming back if they 2-0 and Ryan Dunn is looking like young Scottie Pippen.
Because you and I could.
You're all right.
I think you and I could raise that trophy.
You're right. Sorry. I got to rethink what I just said. I wasn't thinking straight.
I don't know. Well, listen.
Ted, your wild card can be Teo Maladon, but it ain't going to be on this team.
No. If you guys want to go out to Summer League and have a little bit more change in your pocket, our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union want to hook you up with $200 in bonuses when you open a free checking account online. All you got to do is head to desertfinancial.com/200 to get started. But beyond the free checking account and the 200 in bonuses, our friends at Desert Financial have been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union for more than 84 years in Arizona. So you know you're going to be in good hands when you do any sort of banking with our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. They've got savings accounts, they've got mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and so much more, and they are dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and providing financial solutions that make lives better. So again, when you open a free checking account online, you're going to get hooked up with $200 in bonuses. You can get started by visiting our friends at desertfinancial.com/200.
Look, dude. Hey, you ready for summer, man?
Yeah.
You ready for summer league, dude? Because our friends at Shady Rays are gonna look us up. You know that? We're gonna be in the bright sun of Vegas. We're gonna have the right sunglasses, dude. Okay. We ain't gonna be hanging 10, but we're gonna watch Ryan Dunn hang 10 on a bunch. Sometimes they come to you and then they go away just as fast. That was like my Keanu really drunk in Vegas. So I got nothing left there. Look, our friends at Shady Rays have got you covered. They're an independent sunglass company offering world-class sunglasses. They're polarized. I love them. I got a pair in my desk right now. They come in prescription as well. So if you're blind as a bat like me, you can also still enjoy these. And you know what? It's been rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
Wow, that's a lot of stars.
300,000 people. Mm-hmm. That's more than attended Washington Wizards games over the last 3 years. All right, their shades are super durable, crystal clear optics, and they make them the perfect choice for all your outdoor adventures, like the debauchery we're going to get into at Summer League. Plus, if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. You don't have to, because they will replace them. That's how great they are. They will replace them. So exclusively for you, our listeners, dude, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to ShadyRays.com and use promo code PHNX for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people, dude.
I'm trying to figure.
Just don't poke it.
I can't. It's.
Just let it go.
You're just in and out of multiple accents at the same time. I don't get it.
That is the bit.
Maybe.
I'm introducing you to everybody in my head right now.
All of the characters have come out to play.
He smoked a little bit in between the bit, and then, like, the hippie pesto came out.
Listen, guys, tomorrow is 4th of July. We will not be here for a show for you. We hope you guys all enjoy your holiday. Before we get out of here, I do want to know, though, what's your favorite 4th of July side dish?
Ooh.
What's the best one?
Ooh, baked beans.
Okay.
Baked beans number 1?
Yes.
I mean, I love baked beans.
I think baked beans is like a 2 or 3 for me, probably.
Okay.
Get a little bacon in there.
Mac and cheese?
Oh, I mean, I love mac and cheese, but honestly, I love mac and cheese.
Mm.
But I feel like I lean towards the cold dishes for 4th of July.
Okay.
Like a mac
Like
salad, potato
so
salad,
that's my
deviled
favorite.
eggs.
Okay.
Let's
My
be honest.
favorite's potato salad.
Mac and cheese ain't a side dish. Mac and cheese is a meal.
I mean, it can
You're
be.
just having a second meal.
When I go to KFC and I get chicken,
It can be both.
they ask me what kind of side do you want. I say mac and cheese. That means it's a side.
No, that means you're having a second meal.
You can order it at KFC.
You know what I'm saying,
it is a
dog?
side.
Yeah, but you can also go
Mac
to
and cheese is
like,
definitely
the
a side.
Cheesecake Factory and get mac and cheese as a meal.
You can
guess
go to
you
the
can.
Cheesecake Factory and get any side as a meal. I'm pretty sure that's so big.
True.
Potato
No free
salad.
ads, damn it.
I'm with the potato salad. And if you throw the egg in it, it's even better.
Low key,
I'm team
Potato
egg in the
salad
potato
with the
salad.
egg, yeah.
low key though, if I'm eating like burgers and hot dogs for 4th of July, which
Baked
I
beans.
usually am, it's either like fries or chips. That's usually the
Okay,
side
that's
dish
fair.
I'm eating with it.
I didn't even think about fries.
Fries?
Ronnie
Those
says
are
deviled
the-
eggs.
Those are the go-to. Deviled eggs are
That's the
great.
go-to.
I love deviled eggs. I'm
I
actually
had
a
about-
Bro, oh my god, bro. Damn, just let the
I had
game in.
like 10 of them like, at your wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm not supposed to eat eggs. But let me tell you, they were so damn
and
good.
we could tell you, he drove me home. You shouldn't have eaten.
Oh,
TMI.
Yeah. It's cool. I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real.
love that.
Oh my gosh. Just a quick PSA for everyone out there, and you guys
Bro.
included. I don't want to hear of anybody having to go to the hospital tomorrow because you effed around and found out with some fireworks.
Yeah.
Okay?
He
Can
went
we
for
all
down
just
14.
please agree to
Yeah.
be safe with our fireworks shenanigans and like wrap it up maybe at like 10 or 11?
Yes.
Just a request.
Pop
Everybody,
them
ladies.
down.
City of
Fireworks.
Mason has an anonymous tip line. Get people arrested for doing that shit.
I mean,
I'm gonna drink a sip of
if
my
it's
old
after
beer.
1 o'clock in the morning, I might support it. But if it's like in a decent hour, like let some people, a little bit of fun. You can let people have a little bit of fun.
By the way, Leo wants to know, do we watch the hot dog eating contest? I am banning it this year.
Are we boycotting?
I'm boycotting. Joey Chest's not allowed in because he had Impossible Meat hot dogs as a sponsor. Screw you, hot dog eating contest. No longer American in my books.
Unpopular opinion, it makes me sick.
I can't watch
I
it.
don't enjoy watching it at
I get
all.
nauseous
How
watching
many
them
hot
soak
dogs
the
do you
bread
think
with the
that
water.
is?
Oh, I could eat some fucking hot dogs.
In like
No,
this
no, no.
span, if we all had a 5-minute challenge to eat the most hot dogs, how many do you think you could take
I'm
down?
beating y'all. Listen,
With bun or without?
With
the bun. I once ate my nephew
With bun,
Mike, Trigger
of
Mike, I
course.
love you. You might be watching. Me and Trigger Mike, and like I ate 9 hot dogs in like 10 minutes.
I think I could do 2.5.
That's it?
Great win.
I could do like
Push.
3
Maybe
or 4.
3.
I'm telling y'all, I ate 9 hot dogs in like 10 minutes. It was crazy. Chili dog. I was just super hungry.
In 5 minutes, I
Chili
think
and
I
cheese.
could do 2.5 maybe.
Okay, I watched Johnny, Bo, and Damon do the
gives our team a
999
confidence
challenge
boost for
Jasper
sure.
on Saturday.
You get everyone's
Sat
best
right next
shot.
to him, and I'm not sure I could ever eat another hot dog after watching that disgusting display of these 3 gentlemen trying to eat 9 hot dogs in 9 innings with 9 beers. No, thank you.
The 9 hot
I'm
dogs
out.
are easy.
Yeah, the hot
The
dogs are
9
easy.
beers
It's the beer
are,
that's tough.
yeah, I don't even drink it.
It was just not a good time. So.
Let's
All
have
right.
a hot dog eating contest right here on the show. I'm
Okay,
telling y'all,
let's make
take
it
out
happen.
10, 15
Let's
like
do it.
that.
Alright guys,
Yes.
enjoy your holiday. We will see you on Friday though at 3 p.m. So until then, be sure to hit that thumbs up button if you're on YouTube. Rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. And of course, give the show a follow on social at PHNX_Sons. We'll see you Friday. Sorry, I was gonna say goodbye, but I know that's Espo's say. That was my bad. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. You can follow Flex at Flex in Jersey.